hope that this video will get you thinking about the different ways that you can actually share that knowledge and share your life experience and share the things that have really helped you become the person that you are, and allow that to support you, allow that to be something that supports you financially in your life. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Mariah and I create all kinds of videos around creating business, creating health, creating a relationship, really just creating a vibrant life all around. And if you are not new to this channel, thank you so much for your patience with me. I plan on getting back to posting about once or twice a week on here, so look forward to more videos coming from me. What we're talking about today are the 5 things that I would do if I had to start my business all over again from zero and build it all the way back up to multiple 6 figures. So I have 5 tips, and if you stick around to the very end, I have a couple of bonus tips that I'm going to share with you for that. So I have been running my own business for just over 6 years now. And there's been multiple different iterations of that throughout that time period, but I've learned a lot through making a lot of different mistakes throughout that time. So the first thing that I would do is choose an area of life that I feel I've mastered and journal about what my experience was like as I was going through the most challenging period of that time. So whether that was when I was really struggling with that thing and learning how to overcome the challenges that it faced, or if it was just as I was learning and really deepening my understanding and ability to actually embody whatever that was. And so for some people, this might have something to do with your physical health. Maybe it just comes really easily and naturally to you, and that's something that you can absolutely share to help other people. Maybe it's something really specific, like something that a mom does to make it really easy to clean cloth baby diapers. That's a thing. There are so many different ways that you can really help people from just your learned experience. And I hope that this video will get you thinking about the different ways that you can actually share that knowledge and share your life experience and share the things that have really helped you become the person that you are, and allow that to support you, allow that to be something that supports you financially in your life. And I would say that the 1.5 version of this is really journaling on how you felt. And the reason that you want to do that is because it's going to help you identify where your ideal audience is at that current point in time. And so when you've already overcome something, it's really easy to completely disconnect from when you were in the struggle of it. I don't recommend just going after people's pain points and like really making them be, re-traumatized or really just suffer even more by learning about whatever it is that you're sharing. But what can be really helpful is just reflecting back on your own experience and looking at, okay, where was I at? What was going through my mind? What was I experiencing? What was keeping me up at night? What was just on my mind and on my heart all the time? What was persistent for me? Because you have experience in overcoming that. So that's what you can share with people to help them see you as the expert, to recognize, oh, this person is in my head. This person knows exactly how I'm feeling and exactly what I'm going through. So that's like a 1.5. The second step would be super simple. I would simply choose a social media outlet that I want to be present on, somewhere that I want to show up. Now, obviously, if you're doing an in-person business, this part might not necessarily apply to you in the exact same way. Maybe you're wanting something more in-person that you can utilize instead of using a social media platform. So the way that I really recommend thinking about this is looking at where would you be able to show up and have the most fun and express yourself in the most creative, joyful way. Because ideally, that's where you want to hang out. So if you're reading posts or watching YouTube videos that are saying, in order to have a successful business in 2021, 2022, whatever, you have to be on Instagram, or you have to be on Twitter, or you have to be on TikTok, it's bullshit. It's not true. The best place for you to be is where you want to be. I like to think of it as you're going to a party, and just think about maybe 2 different options for your parties. You can go to a party that you really want to go to, where you like the people, you like that maybe it's a dress-up party and you're excited to express yourself in that way. And then there's this other party, and maybe both are happening at the same time, that you're really not excited about, that you just don't vibe with the people who are going to be there. You don't really like how you're going to have to like put up a front in order to show up there. You get to choose which party you're going to show up to. And the party that you're going to feel the best at is the party that you're going to be the most magnetic. It's the party that you're going to be expressing yourself in the most potent, powerful ways. And so that's how I want you to approach social media. If you want to show up on podcasts, great. If you want to show up on YouTube, awesome. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, email, blogs, Reddit. There's so many different places now that you can show up online. I want you to truly choose whatever one lights you up the most. My third tip is to share your absolute best content. Something that I see a lot is that people will be worried about, if I share everything that I know, if I give my best tips away, then there will be nothing for people to pay me for. And that's just not true. Close proximity, one-on-one, even in group programs, even in masterminds, there's always so many deeper layers that you can get to in that one-on-one and just smaller, closer proximity connection time than you can in, you know, a 5-slide Instagram post, than you can in a 10-minute YouTube video. There's always so much more depth that people can get from you. And there's so many more questions and intricacies that they can ask you about in those paid containers versus what you share online. And what you can share online is really giving them more of that insight, like I mentioned from step 1, to see you as the leader and be like, oh my gosh, this person really knows what they're talking about and I really resonate with where they're at. And that's what makes them want to hire you, because they can see that you're actually embodying what you're teaching and what you're talking about, and it's not just something that you learned from the internet that you're regurgitating. Step number 4, I would decide whether I want to have a high ticket one-on-one offer or some kind of group or evergreen offer. If you're going to go for a one-on-one option where people can directly work with you to learn whatever it is that you're teaching, I really recommend only doing this as a high ticket offer. And what that means is just not offering your time for a really low amount of money. My personal recommendation would be to start at least at $1,000 a month. If you're really struggling with wrapping your head around that idea, the bare minimum that I would say any human on the world who has access to technology, the bare minimum that I would recommend you starting out with is $500 a month. And what you can do is just slowly, incrementally, as you get more clients, as you get more experience, as you build your confidence, you can start increasing your prices as it feels relevant, as it feels good. And that's not about just like taking as much money as you possibly can, taking advantage of people, but it's really valuing the transformation that you're creating for people and valuing your time and the most likely years or decades of time that it took you to get to the point that you're at right now. Because that's really what people are paying for when they hire you for being an online coach or creating a transformation in some way for them, is you're the shortcut. You're the one who's helping them actually quickly get from point A to point B without having to go through all of the challenges that you might have had to go through to get there. And I can do a separate video on pricing if that would be helpful for you. Just let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to make that. And really what you want to do with pricing is just make sure that's something that you genuinely can be confident about and get behind. Because if you're telling people, hey, my rates are this much an hour, or it's this much a month, or it's this much a week, or whatever it is, if there's a wobble in your voice, if you feel weird and gross speaking that energy is going to come across to the other person and they're going to think, ooh, something's off here. They might not even logically know, but they're going to feel it. They're going to know something isn't okay here. Something's off. I don't know if it's that this person's lying, that they can't actually help me get to where I want to go, or if they just feel awkward about money. And you know, there's a lot of different money things that you can do. Let me know if that would be a helpful video. Happy to share that as well. Money mindset stuff. But whatever your pricing is going to be, really sit with just what's going to feel the most genuinely accurate for you. And then the second option within this 4th tip is creating a group offer or some kind of an evergreen offer. And so evergreen just means it's something that you've pre-created that people can just choose to buy at any time. There's no open and close dates. It's not like a launch, for example. So group containers are something else that you can offer at whatever price point you want. I would really recommend not putting it at anything less than $100 because people just, let's put it this way. When people go to Walmart and Costco and the other discount stores, Dollar Tree, whatever else there is, they're expecting a certain exchange for their money. You know, they're not expecting that thing to last for their entire life. They're just like, yeah, I'm gonna get this. It's gonna solve my problem for now. Might have to get another one in a year, a couple years, a couple months, whatever, but it solves a problem now for a great deal. You don't want to be the Walmart or the Costco or the Dollar Tree of your business because people are going to expect and show up for that kind of transformation. So if you're only charging, this is, I hope no one in the world is doing this, but let's say you're charging $1, just to give you an extreme example. Let's say you're charging $1 for your 6-week program. People are gonna show up having only invested $1. So if you went to the dollar store and you got something, what kind of energy would you expect to have from that $1 thing? Because I have a lighter right here. Let's just say I got this lighter for $1. I would maybe expect it to work for like a week, if that, And I'd be happy with that. I'd be like, cool. It worked for a week and then it pooped out. It's done. Whatever. When people are showing up with that energy in your program, especially in a group program, that's going to impact not only how they're showing up to your space, they're showing up to your space with that energy of like, oh, it might work for me for a week. It might work for me for a day. I'll show up for a week or a day. And then after that, you know, it was only $1, so whatever. I'll just forget about it and move on with my life. And that's not to be rude or insensitive or anything. It's just that is the exchange. Everything is an energetic exchange. And when people are showing up to containers with that energy, to group coaching or teaching containers with that energy, it not only impacts their experience, it's going to impact how you see yourself as a leader. It's going to impact everyone in that container because all of them are just going to be bringing momentum to that energy of just like, meh, not that valuable, not that useful, not that life-changing, not that transformational. So all of that to say, if you're going to be doing group containers, just be sure you're really valuing yourself and your time. Now with evergreen offers, I know that there are probably so many people out there who have really, really low priced, let's say $1 to $100 offers that you can just buy at any time. And I would recommend, if you're starting at zero, let's say you don't have a social media, you don't have an email list, you don't have anything yet, I would not recommend starting with something under $100 if your intention is to make a living off of your business. And the reason for that is because a majority of the time, people who are offering those really, really low income offers have huge audiences. They already have at least 100,000, if not multiple 100,000, if not millions. And the reason that works for them is just truly because of numbers, because they have so many people in their audience that even if only 1% bought, it's still a high number. And so what I personally recommend and what I would personally do if I was just starting out and I was starting over again is I would definitely do one-on-one offers. And then as I build my confidence in that area and as I start to notice all the different patterns between all my different clients, I would compile that knowledge and wisdom that I learned into an evergreen group course so that then I'm still getting the high ticket offers from my one-on-one clients, but then I'm also able to stack on top of that something that people can buy on their own at any time. Okay, number 5, the last tip, the last thing that I would do is create a Google Doc or a Google slide of my process. So this would be my invitation to people into my program, into my one-on-one offering, into my evergreen, whatever it is. The reason that I recommend using just a Google Doc for that is because you don't need a website, you don't need a hosting, whatever. You don't need any back-end stuff. You can literally do this with a free Gmail account, with a free Google Doc, a free PayPal account, free social media. So you're not paying for Kajabi or ClickFunnels or Thinkific or any of those other things. And what you can actually end up doing is hosting, let's say it's a group program, you can host that on Dropbox, on Google Drive. You can host it somewhere for free. And then if you get to a point where you're like, okay, there's a lot of people coming through my work, I want it to be a more smooth experience, then you can go ahead and invest in one of those other programs that, you know, creates a beautiful backend for you and helps create beautiful emails for you and all of that. But that's not something you need from day one. You do not need a website. You do not need a course portal. You don't need any of that until much later down the road. So on that Google Doc, I would include the details about your program. If you have any testimonials from working with friends or family in that area of life, you can include your own testimonial. I would include any of those testimonials in there. And then what you can do is on PayPal, you can Google how to do this, but you can literally just create a link that goes directly to your account for the exact amount that you want. So what you can do is just include, if you want people to be able to just buy it without exchanging in conversation with you, you can go ahead and put that PayPal link in that Google Doc and they can just sign up right there. And then if you do want people to have a way to contact you, you can just tell them, DM me here or send me an email here, or whatever way you want to contact them. I wouldn't recommend giving people your personal number, just a personal thing. Now, those are my biggest tips on what I would do if I had to start over from zero again and build a multiple six-figure business in order to cover my basic costs in life. And by the way, this is what I would do if I was doing it by myself. If I happened to still have a team, if I had any VAs or anybody that I could hire to help me out, there's so many things that I would outsource. So if that would be a helpful video as well, learning what to outsource when, let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to make a video about that. So since you've stayed until the end, my sixth tip, my bonus tip, is I would incorporate rest and recovery and personal nourishing time into my schedule as I'm building the business. I wouldn't tell myself, okay, after I hit this milestone, then I can get a massage. After I hit this milestone, I can take a week off. After I do this, then I can relax. I would incorporate that into my daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual schedule. So that's something I really highly recommend prioritizing, because you don't want to get to a certain point in your business where you're like, I have all the success, I'm really just doing so amazing, but I have no time to enjoy it because I'm so busy with my business. My 7th bonus tip would be to work with and reinvest whatever money I'm earning in my business into hiring mentors that I really truly align with, that can help me get from where I am to where I want to be much faster. So I would recommend looking for mentors who are at least like 5 or more steps ahead of you. You know, you can hire someone who's 1 step ahead of you for probably a lot less, but if you hire somebody who's way ahead of where you are currently, and you know that that's where you want to be, and you really resonate and align with where they're at and how they're working their business and how they're living their lives, that's something really important to look at. You can collapse time and get there so much faster by working with them. Remember at the beginning how I mentioned that you working with your clients is like a shortcut to helping those people get to where they want to be? Hiring someone else is exactly that for you. It's allowing their experience and their knowledge to be poured into you and help you get where you want to be. If this video was helpful for you, please let me know by giving it a like, hitting the subscribe button, and leaving a comment down below letting me know what you took away from this video. And also feel free to let me know what you would like to learn about next. I'm happy to share anything that I can to help you on your journey.